So
Yeah.
thanks for making some time to talk with me today. I won't take too much of your time.
That's cool.
All right. We'll start with the basics. Tell me more about your tour with Toad the Wet Sprocket.
Well, it's all month, and it's dates from, we started it out in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and drove through Texas and Louisiana, and then sort of some deep south, some areas in the deep south. And now we're sort of starting to head north. We're in Virginia currently, creeping our way up the East Coast to Boston, and then upstate New York, and then through the Midwest to Ohio.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you guys have toured with them before, back in '97. How does this feel different than that?
Well, it's really different. Yeah, I mean, we toured with them twice. Yeah, there was one in '97, and then before that, actually, we were out with them for our very first national tour we ever went on was with Toad in '96, the year before. Mainly because we were managed by the same manager. He managed Toad the Sprocket, my band, Marcy Playground, and a band from Canada called The Odds. And so it was, kind of a natural fit at the time for us to open for one of his acts. And so we got to meet them, and it was cool. I think the first one was like a college tour, fan appreciation college tour, I think. And then the second tour was like they had released an album, and we were supporting them for that. And I'm pretty sure both of them were before our record hit, but maybe not. The first one definitely was before that, and we were still on EMI Records before we moved over to Capitol. But yeah, it was fun. I'm making the joke that because that was 25? I mean, I can't do math, but it was a long time ago, number of years. And this is our final tour we're ever going to do. We're sandwiching ourselves between Toad the Wet Sprocket tours, and it's over after this. But I'm just kidding.
You're going to say it's got to be, because that is quite a jump if that's before, you guys kind of had your hits and everything.
Yeah.
It has to feel very different.
It does. It does. I mean, now we've known them for that long, for that many years, and, it just feels like it's a very natural fit.
So how have the shows been? What kind of set list are you guys doing most nights?
Mostly, we got a lot of requests, and, over the last few years, play Coco Velvet Kind, play Opium, play, there's songs that people want to hear, the Wave Motion Gun. Everybody knows Sex and Candy, but, our fans, they're pretty, they're pretty, the deeper material they're into more. For whatever reason, that, we get the same sort of those are the kind of songs that we get those requested all the time. So we've designed our set list to be those songs. So it's the songs that our fans, that's their favorite songs. Kind of so we had to figure out, well, how does that fit in a set list? How do we play that and order that so that it feels like a cohesive set, which was fun. And we had a couple days of rehearsal, and we worked out a really cool set. So now we're opening the set with, we were opening it with Poppies all the time. Now we'll open it with All the Lights Went Out or Opium. So yeah, it's different. We're playing for 45 minutes, and so we're just trying to get from song to song as quick as we can to squeeze as many in as possible, because it's not a super long set. Yeah, it's fun though. Yeah, it's great, and it's great because I also love Toad, and so it's really fun to watch them every night. And when we were in, where were we? We were in where is Hootie and the Blowfish from? Where are those guys from again? It's not Virginia, because we're there now. It's not is it South Carolina? Charleston, I think, right? Anyway, so Darius Rucker came out, and he sang some songs with Glenn, which was really cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, my job is basically talking to people while they're on tour, and I always like when folks are like, I got to do something fun in that town that was kind of for that town.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, because when you're in a band, you rarely get to do that. You get to these cool places with these cool things, and you don't get to do any of them because you're at the venue, or you're at a hotel, or you're in a bus or a van, or however you're traveling, and it's hard. It's hard to get to see any of the fun stuff. So when you finally do get to do it, it's awesome. We always go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame whenever we're in Cleveland. It's so cool. It is so cool. And like one time they gave us the backstage tour of that place, and they take you down into the vault area, and I got to see Levon Helm's mandolin and Jimi Hendrix's guitar straps and one of his guitars, and Joan Jett's jacket from the cover of her really big record. And they also had Alice Cooper's giant stage prop electric chair down there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was so cool.
Very cool. I hate to ask, but I feel like I have to ask for a second about Sex and Candy, because clearly it was the breakout hit, and I'm sure you've been asked like millions of questions about it.
Yeah.
But I am curious, what are some of the weirdest or most like off-base interpretations of that song and the lyrics that you've heard from other people?
In the lyrics? You mean like the excuse me while I kiss this guy kind of thing? Like when people mishear lyrics?
Well, I just think it's a song with some very interesting lyrics, and people have kind of been trying to dissect those and the video basically since they came out, and I imagine you probably heard some very interesting takes.
Oh, you mean on their interpretation of what they mean?
Mm-hmm.
Not really. I mean, it's interesting that you bring that up, because that is something that happens with most hit songs. But with that song, people just kind of, for the most part, take it as kind of at face value, kind of what it is. It's just a fun way to say, that sort of first love, love at first sight kind of song that's been around since songs have been written. It's just a different way of saying it, in the lyrics that I chose. So I don't think people are really reading too deeply into it. I mean, even my grandmother, my grandmother, she's from Tennessee, and she's her lifelong Southern Baptist, and my mother was mortified to tell her that I had a song out called Sex and Candy. She was worried what my grandmother would think. And but when she talked to her about it, she said, well, honey, Sex and Candy? Oh, honey, those are two of my favorite things. And that's pretty much as deep as it gets with that song. It's just, there's nothing to it in terms of the depth. So I don't really get a lot of interpretations. I get people will ask me what other songs are about, but typically not that one.
Interesting. Very cool, though.
Yeah.
So I also have to get to my final basic, which is something you kind of touched on, but what should folks expect for your upcoming Kent, Ohio show? Just to
come out, have some fun. That's for us. It's all about the fact that we're playing for you, and we get a charge out of doing this, and it's great to see when the fans come out, and it's great to win over new fans. So that's always been great about playing with Toad's audience. A lot of them don't know us. A lot of them do, because they were at those original, came out to shows at those original tours. But a lot of them don't know us. But for whatever reason, kind of universally, they like us. So if you're coming out to the Toad show, be prepared to like Marcy Playground, because for whatever reason, we click together, musically, taste-wise. I think people seem to like it. I'm not even I would love to, say, hey, we rock. I think we do, but just come out and have some fun, really. I mean, after COVID, I could try and see as much live music as I possibly can now, because I'm worried that one day it's going to be taken away again.
That's a good way of viewing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that way you can. Thank you so much for talking with me today. Is there anything else that you want folks to know about you guys or the shows?
No, not really. I mean, just if people don't, I recommend if you're not familiar with our band, I recommend just if you have iTunes, Apple Music, or whatever, just stream some stuff and see if you like it. Because if all you know is Sex and Candy, there's other songs.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you so much for talking with me today. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Brooke.
All right. Have a good one.
You too. Take care.
Bye-bye.